Hey everybody, it's the History Teacher. In this episode, we'll look at the Byzantine Empire. In the year AD 395, the Roman Empire was permanently split into a western half and an eastern half so that it could be better managed. The eastern half is referred to as the Byzantine Empire. The name Byzantine was first used by scholars in the 19th century to distinguish the Greek-speaking Eastern Roman Empire from the Latin-speaking western half. At the time, though, the people living there called themselves Romanoi, that is, Romans. The capital of the Byzantine Empire was Constantinople, which was formerly called Byzantium, named after the city's mythical founder, a king called Byzas. That's where the word Byzantine originates. In the year 330, the Roman Emperor Constantine rededicated Byzantium as his new capital city, Constantinople. Today, this city is Istanbul in modern Turkey. In the year 476, the last Western emperor, the child Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. The Western Roman Empire began to fragment into areas controlled by powerful Germanic tribes, areas which later became the countries of Europe. The Byzantine Empire was then the surviving portion of the Roman Empire, and it lasted another 1,000 years. Justinian the Great assumed power in 527. As emperor, he had absolute political and religious authority. During his rule, legal scholars produced the Corpus Juris Civilis, or body of civil law, which clarified and consolidated Roman law, streamlined government bureaucracy, and reinforced imperial authority. The body of civil law influenced European legal thinking for the next 1,000 years. Justinian initiated the building of the magnificent Church of Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom. It became a mosque after the Turkish conquest and is now a museum, still resplendent after 1,500 years. Justinian's wife was Theodora. Quick-witted and ambitious, the Empress Theodora had been a low-born actress. At the time, prostitutes were commonly referred to as actresses, so her background was controversial. It was Theodora who persuaded Justinian not to abdicate the throne and flee during the Nika riots in 532, which were caused by intense friction between different theological and political factions in Constantinople. To be specific, Justinian was on his way out the door to escape the wrath of the people, while Theodora refused to be intimidated. She gave Justinian the courage he needed to suppress the riots, which he did, and brutally. About 30,000 people died in the conflict. The word Nika in Nika riots, by the way, means victory in Greek. Similarly, Nike, like the shoe brand, was the name of the Greek goddess of victory. Justinian tried to reconquer European territory that had belonged to the Roman Empire, but that had since been lost to Germanic tribes. However, despite spending practically all the wealth of the Byzantine Empire, and after decades of war which left Italy in ruins, Justinian failed. Justinian was the last emperor to speak Latin as his native language. After the year 610, the emperors spoke Greek, which was the predominant language of the eastern Mediterranean at this time. The governor of Carthage in North Africa, Heraclius, captured the throne in 610 and divided the empire into military districts to exert greater control. After centuries of intermittent clashing, Heraclius defeated the long-standing enemy of the Romans, the Persians, in the year 628. However, the Byzantine Empire lost the territories of Syria and Palestine at the Battle of Yarmouk in 636. They were defeated by the Muslims, who were beginning their vigorous expansion throughout the Middle East and beyond. Within decades, Muslim advance had substantially diminished the size of the Byzantine Empire. Although Emperor Leo III's defeat of the Muslims in 718 inaugurated 200 years of peace, the Byzantine Empire remained under constant pressure from the enlargement of Muslim civilization. The Byzantine economy remained vibrant until, by the 11th century, steady loss of territory reduced the number of free peasants, the most important part of the economy. Byzantines operated schools to train effective government administrators and to preserve and study ancient Greek and Latin texts, which had been forgotten in Europe. Byzantines also believed in educating girls. One of them was Anna Komnena, the daughter of Emperor Alexius Komnenos. Among other things, Anna wrote entertaining and insightful descriptions of the leaders of the First Crusade, whom she met as a teenager in the year 1097. Hers is one of the relatively few perspectives from women that have come down to us from this period. The Byzantines were responsible for converting the Slavic people to Christianity, specifically Eastern Orthodox Christianity, not Roman Catholicism. The Byzantine missionaries, Cyril and Methodius, designed a new alphabet to aid them in their conversion efforts with the Slavs. It's called Cyrillic, named after Cyril, and it was used to translate the Bible into Slavic languages. In 988, Kievan Rus, the germ of modern Russia, adopted Byzantine Christianity, and early Russia forged close ties with Constantinople. During the reign of the so-called Macedonian emperors between 867 and 1056, the Byzantine Empire reconquered some lost territory, but in the second half of the 11th century, turmoil again erupted. Byzantine elites criticized the extent of government power, and the aggressively ambitious Venetians took control of vital Byzantine trading centers. In 1054, as a result of basic theological differences such as the nature of the Holy Trinity, the proper date of Easter, and cultural contrast between Rome and Constantinople, the Christian church split along the lines of the old division between the Western and Eastern Roman Empire. Thenceforward, the Western Church would be governed by the Pope and would be called Catholic, meaning universal, while the Eastern Church would be called Orthodox, or right-thinking, and it would be controlled by Constantinople. This division still exists. The Byzantine Empire was a Christian civilization. Christianity was the dominant force in Byzantine politics and culture, and dealing with religious heresies demanded a lot of attention because they posed threats to the stability of the empire. Among the most significant heresies were Monophysitism, which insisted that Christ was totally divine and not human, and Nestorianism, which declared that Christ was both human and divine, but that these natures were distinct and not commingled, which is the Orthodox belief. The Church Council of Chalcedon in 451 addressed these heresies and clarified church teaching, but alternative Christianities persisted anyway. In 730, Emperor Leo III banned the worshipping of icons, that is, religious pictures, to prevent the sin of idolatry. This action prompted a large number of religious zealots to literally smash and destroy all religious images, which resulted in the loss of countless pieces of beautiful artwork from the ancient world. The people who did this were the iconoclasts, which translates as image breakers. Iconoclasm, which is the name given to the movement itself, lasted until 787, though there was another episode the following century. Western Christians disapproved of iconoclasm, and disagreement about the proper role of religious images contributed to the separation of the church in 1054. The Muslim Seljuk Turk army defeated the Byzantines in 1071 at the Battle of Manzikert in what is now eastern Turkey. Meanwhile, Norman forces pushed the Byzantines out of Sicily and southern Italy. From this point, the formerly vast Byzantine Empire would be largely confined to a gradually shrinking area around Constantinople. In 1204, Crusaders enlisted the help of the city-state of Venice to help them reach the Holy Land by sea. But the avaricious Venetians demanded that, in return for their services, the Crusaders sack Constantinople and transfer its wealth to Venice. This was done, and, consequently, many of the priceless, superb decorations in Venice, such as at San Marco Cathedral, were stolen from the Byzantines. The Crusaders stayed in Constantinople until they were forced out by the Byzantines in 1261, but the foreign occupation accelerated Byzantine deterioration. But the Byzantines struggled on until, consisting only of the city of Constantinople, it finally surrendered to the Muslim Ottoman Turks in 1453. The formerly invincible walls of Constantinople, which had protected the city for more than 1,000 years, couldn't withstand the power of modern cannon. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.